loss to the deepest, darkest China came a new assessment from the U.S. president. He hailed what he termed special ties with India, saying that he doesn't think that the U.S. has lost India, which was a complete U-turn from his earlier remark. Now, the U.S. president called Modi a great prime minister with whom he enjoys enduring friendship. The prime minister was also quick to reciprocate and expressing deep appreciation of President Trump's sentiments and positive assessment of the ties. Prime Minister Modi asserted that India and U.S. have a very positive and forward-looking, comprehensive and global strategic partnership.
I always will. I'll always be friends with Modi. He's great. Prime Minister, he's great. I'll always be friends, but I just don't like what he's doing at this particular moment. But India and the United States have a special relationship. There's nothing to worry about. We just have moments on occasion.
So many are seeing this 180-degree turn by Trump as a climb down and a diplomatic win for India, which has stood firm in the wake of the U.S. tariff onslaught and refused to give in to the strong-arm tactics. But for the opposition, there is no reason to celebrate, because they say that Modi and Trump may share a good personal equation, but that hasn't really helped India, because the 50% U.S. tariff still remains in place. The opposition also took a swipe at the Prime Minister, branding him a Paltu Ram. But the larger question is, will this patch-up bid by Trump last long, or will it translate into meaningful improvement in the ties or not? Or will the U.S. president now deliver another flip-flop in just a few hours?
सवाल ट्रंप और मोदी के रिश्ते का नहीं, सवाल है अमेरिका और भारत के रिश्ते और उसमें भारत के हितों का। 50% का जो टैरिफ है वो जो कभी नहीं लगा था, वो भारत के 140 करोड़ भारतवासियों के हितों के खिलाफ है।
विपक्ष लगातार इस बात को कह रहा था कि प्रधानमंत्री जी वो स्थिति को स्पष्ट करे, प्रधानमंत्री जी खामोश थे। और जब देश कूटनीतिक तरह से रास्ते पे आगे बढ़ रहा था, तो ट्रम्प वो कूटनीतिक तरह से ही बयान देते हैं। तो हमारे जिन देशों से हम सहयोग के लिए आगे बढ़ रहे थे, अब उस मुद्दे का क्या होगा?
भावुकता कहाँ है? नौटंकी है भाई, स्वांग है। मैं समझता हूं कि देशों के बीच में रिश्ते ये व्यक्ति केंद्रित नहीं होने चाहिए, और इसको व्यक्ति केंद्रित बना के ऑप्टिकल इल्यूजन, चाहे उधर से हो या इधर से हो, उससे हमारे मुल्क को कोई फायदा नहीं है।
My colleague Rishabh is joining us on the broadcast with the details, and he has been closely watching what has been happening with the India-U.S. ties. Well, Rishabh, what does this indicate? There seemed to be a sudden U-turn from the U.S. president as he spoke greatly about the Prime Minister, spoke about the personal ties, and the Prime Minister also reciprocated. What does this actually mean for the India-U.S. trade ties?
Well, Pratibha, there is one word for this: a reset. Both Washington and Delhi are looking at a reset. A lot has been spoken about, a lot of jabs have been exchanged. India, in a way, has behaved very maturely, not responding to useless or unwarranted jabs, but also holding its ground very strongly. Now, many within the Trump administration believe that we cannot continue doing what we were doing for last 4-5 months. We cannot keep taking hits at India or jabs at India. That will in a way end up hurting our own interest, America's own interest, and that's the reason that there are green shoots that now we are seeing, Pratibha, that both Delhi and Washington are showing. And not the officials, but at the top level. While likes of Navarro continue to do what they were doing, Donald Trump has started mellowing down and in a way very categorically putting forward that his relationship with Prime Minister Narendra Modi is something that is really important, and India-U.S. relationship is very comprehensive. India, even after that loss to deep dark China comment by President Trump, very clearly maintained that India-U.S. relationship is way beyond certain comments by one leader or other, and hence things will calm down and things will be back to normal. now many within the government of India believe that with what Prime Minister said on Twitter, or for that matter X, or for that matter what followed and how External Affairs Minister responded to it, it is in a way kind of reset that we are looking at. And I am emphasizing on the word reset because yes, a lot of ups and downs have come in India-US relationship in last 6 months. But now Trump believes, or for that matter Trump administration believes that India has held its ground firm, and let's have a midway, let's have a negotiated path ahead for the benefit of both Delhi and Washington.
Okay, all right, because the Indo-US ties are really important and both the countries are aware of it, but clearly it started with Trump throwing these tantrums and now there could be a reset like you mentioned. Do stay with us to get a better understanding of what this could actually mean. Joining us live on the broadcast is Mr. Harshvardhan Shringla, a career diplomat now nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Thank you very much for taking our time to speak to us. What do you make of this development? Just hours after saying that the United States has lost India and Russia to the darkest, deepest China, Trump seems to be clarifying and he has done a complete U-turn. He says that US will always be friends with India. He spoke about Prime Minister Modi, his personal equation, called him a great Prime Minister, and even said that India and the US have a special relationship. So what happened in just a few hours? What do you think?
Well, I mean, look at it this way. You know, the fundamentals of our relationship are such that it is, not possible to allow this to deteriorate beyond a point without having an adverse effect on both countries. And I think, there was a realization that it's an important relationship. It's one that needs to be, taken forward, and any downward slide needs to be arrested. That's how I will see and interpret, President Trump's message. Keep in mind that he's always, had a lot of goodwill and respect for Prime Minister Modi. I mean, even at a time when there were a lot of downturns, his tweets were always preceded by, a very positive reference to the PM, my good friend Modi, and so on and so forth. So I think that connect, which really comes from the heydays of Howdy Modi and Namaste Trump, that connect is rock solid and has continued through difficult moments in our relationship. And today, I think this is also a window of opportunity. President Trump's very positive tweet, not just on the relationship with the Prime Minister, but also on his recognition that this is a very special relationship. I think, and Prime Minister Modi's response, affirming, the sentiments that President Trump has articulated, is, I think, an important development and a turning point that could provide us an opening to, resolve any outstanding issues that are there, especially in terms of trying to bring that elusive trade deal to a conclusion.
Okay, but that Indo-US ties are very important was well known. But which side do you think really had that realization? And do you think that the camaraderie that we witnessed of the Troika in Tianjin had any role to play in this latest overture?
Well, it's difficult to say. You see, from our point of view, I think, the decision to attend the ACO meeting was taken long before any of this happened. And there was a normal, I would say, effort to attend that meeting and also move towards a more normalization of the relationship, as we have seen during the visit, a movement on areas like, flights between the two countries, tourism, to open up visas to be more liberal. That sort of thing, I think, is an economic, relations to move forward in some ways. I think that was always intended. Whether it has been interpreted in any way from the US side, I cannot say, and I think it would, it would be a very subjective interpretation either way. But the important thing is that, there is a realization in Washington that the relationship is an important one. that, there has been a slide that has not been in the interest of both sides, and that I think there is an effort now to, arrest that downward trajectory. And in my view, an important opportunity, as I said, to try and, get things back on track with a very, very important and critical partner.
Yes. But, there have been several provocative statements that have been made as well from the United States. But New Delhi's response had always remained very dignified throughout it all. So what do you make of the Prime Minister's response now? And, what does this indicate?
Well, I mean, as I said, there's always been a very, very, strong connect between, Prime Minister Modi and President Trump. And that connect has not been broken, irrespective of the, ups and downs of the relationship that we have witnessed in recent months. And so there is, I would say, the same relationship gives us that opening. And I think that's very important, that when it's being reiterated in this manner, it is certainly something that we should be able to look and interpret as a positive sign. And from both sides, President Trump has treated, Prime Minister Modi has responded, and I think there is a common endeavor to bring things back on track, to say that enough is enough, and let's move on what is a logical course of action between two vibrant democracies, two countries that share perhaps the most comprehensive and multifaceted relationship that India has with any other country, our largest trading partner, a country with whom we have a significant trade surplus, an investment partner, technology partner, human talent partner, and a strong people-to-people connect. And I think this is something that we don't have with any other, partnership anywhere in the world, what we call a global comprehensive strategic partnership. There is no other parallel anywhere in the world, and we need to definitely recognize that any drift in the downward trajectory that we are seeing, any further drift would have consequences for both countries. It is not something that either country would want to see, either on the geopolitical plane, the Indo-Pacific arena, or in terms of just bilateral relations between our two countries. And certainly, I think, from our side, and to respond to your question, we have, I think, been very mature, very pragmatic in our handling of this issue. I think there have been very steady and consistent efforts to try and keep things on an even keel, not get carried away or distracted by the many voices that are coming out from different quarters. We have kept that let's say, a very tight control on how we respond to the situation. And I think all along our desire has been to maintain a good relationship, and I'm glad that we now have the opportunity to take things, back to where it should be.
Okay. And the icebreaker did come from Trump. But the question is, can India really trust Trump and what he says? Because his statements seem to change very often. Suddenly he says something, in a few hours there could be a complete change. Then we also had America's Commerce Secretary who also recently said that India will have to say sorry.
I think, all of the members of President Trump's administration and cabinet will follow his tune and his line. And I have no doubt that Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick will also, be on a more positive trajectory as we go along. You've already seen Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's tweet. I think that was on positive lines. And we will see more of that is my sense, because when President Trump has a certain approach, I think it is normal that his administration also, echoes that sentiment. And his sentiment is very clear, and as you've highlighted it right at the beginning, he is very clear about his friendship with Prime Minister Modi. He feels he's a great Prime Minister, but also the fact that the India-U.S. relationship is a special relationship. And what are we saying there? That we cannot be sidetracked on this relationship. We cannot allow this relationship to be distracted or allow it to continue in a manner that would be detrimental to the interests of both countries.
Mr. Shringla, before I let you go, I also want to ask you, there is a lot of chatter now around this tweet, Prime Minister Modi responding to Donald Trump as well, but there has been a lot of damage that has been done in the recent times. So can that damage really be undone? And what happens behind closed doors, beyond this conversation that has now started off? Are we going to be seeing a change in the Indo-U.S. ties, a reset?
Well, a tweet has, tweets can cause damage and tweets can undo damages. So, it's a question of how you see it. It's in response to tweets that you felt that there's been some damage, and so you should also look at tweets that are positive in trying to interpret things in a more positive manner. I'm optimistic on the relationship. I have personally dealt with this relationship, and I believe that the fundamentals of the relationship are very strong, and that any effort or any, even an unintended consequence of allowing it to drift in a manner which goes against the spirit of that relationship, I think will be, as I said, will be harmful to the interests of both countries, and so we have to see it for what it is worth. Yes, everything that you see is a result of efforts, and I'm sure there are efforts, and both sides have not been idle. There have been a lot of, I have no doubt that, contacts between the administration and our government, and would have been a fair amount of effort to try and, bring things back on track. So I'm sure this is certainly a result of many such efforts, but primarily I would say it is that strong. I'll again reiterate that point, that friendship, connect, and the chemistry that exists between Prime Minister Modi and President Trump is the fundamental factor that both guides the relationship and is able to bring the relationship to a level that is in the best interest of both countries.
Okay, all right. Mr. Shringla, thank you so much for speaking to us and breaking it down for us on what it means for the Indo-U.S. ties. A lot of important days ahead as the talks will go on, and we're keeping a track of that. For now, slipping into a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.